yo, give Rockstar a Star Wars license. I'm trying to see something. Here's the deal. I can understand why 227,000 people would like this post, but I think that is a terrible idea. I think that is one of the worst ideas I've heard in a while. For one, it will just never happen, just to be very, very clear. It would never happen because Disney would try to take 30% of every copy sold. These games take so much time and cost so many hundreds of millions of dollars. GTA 6 is expected to cost somewhere between $1 and $2 billion. In order to break even with Disney taking 30% off the top, they would have to sell something insane like 50 million copies to break even. And while Rockstar could do that, and they can sell that many copies, GTA 5, I think, has passed 200 million copies sold. You don't want the break-even point to be 50 million. That is a point where, you're pretty overextended. And more than anything, they don't have to get a Star Wars IP to sell that many. Obviously, with GTA 5 selling 200 million, they don't need to bother with that. Even Red Dead 2 has sold like 60 something million, I think, since it released back in 2018. And by the time it reaches GTA's life cycle where it's at now, it probably will be at like 120 million copies when all is said and done, especially if they do like a next gen update, or if they release an update for PS6 and whatever the next Xbox is. I think that'll pop off too. But that's the first thing. So it just won't happen. Secondly, Rockstar, they specialize in expanding their worlds and really taking the creative freedom to do whatever they want to do with their IP. And locking themselves behind the Star Wars license is a terrible idea. I think that's just it would be a surefire way for them to be extremely limited in what they could actually do and achieve. And we've seen that with many other examples of other Star Wars games where Disney has had to step in and protect the IP, which is what they do because they own the IP. They're going to protect the IP. But you don't want a studio like Rockstar to have to send emails back and forth with Disney anytime they want to do something. It's just it's not practical. And you're even seeing other studios cancel Star Wars projects. Respawn canceled their Mandalorian game because they just didn't think that it made sense anymore. After Star Wars Outlaws launches, Massive is moving on. They are not making a sequel with that team. They're going to the Division 3 because it just doesn't make sense to pour that effort in. So business-wise, on the basic design side, it just doesn't make sense. And more than anything, I think that Rockstar is just one of those rare studios that can literally do whatever they want, and it will almost certainly be a masterpiece. They're just that good. And I don't think, I don't want to see them just do that with any given IP. I want them to experiment and do something crazy. There's rumors, of course, going around that the next game they're working on is medieval. Some trademarks applied by Take-Two this year. They might be somehow related to Rockstar, or might be related to some other upcoming game by Take-Two. Not sure, although this Project Ethos is somehow intriguing. It looks like it's a medieval game which was shelved. Take-Two trademarked Project Ethos last month. Could be for a game, or it could be Agent. Agent was announced like years and years ago. It's like, I think it's been canceled and they're not touching it again. There's been rumors saying as much, but yeah, this Project Ethos trademark, Pro Play, whatever that is, also another trademark. Awesome News Network. That's another one. It's for 2K Lego Drive, which I guess came out. So like, these are real filings that they've made, but people are looking at them trying to get something from it. There are two new IPs in development, Agent and a medieval IP. This was in December of 23. Agent excluded, but it is under development, perhaps for a while later for new generation PS6. A medieval fantasy game could be the next route for Rockstar. It's in development after Red Dead 2 released. I mean, people throw a lot of this stuff out all the time. I don't necessarily put a lot of weight into it. I know it would be really cool if they were to do something very different, but I think time will tell. Rockstar is very good at keeping things locked down and secret, so you never know what to believe at any given time, because they've worked on so many things that have ended up not really happening over the years. So maybe they are working on a medieval game, maybe not, but I do think it would make sense after GTA 6 for them to work on something totally different. I would love a Red Dead 3. Don't get me wrong. I would love it, because I love Red Dead, but I would also love to see Rockstar take on something totally different and totally new. And I think for them to take on just something totally wacky, like a fantasy game or a medieval game that's grounded and realistic, that could be crazy cool. There's all sorts of interesting things they could do. And I just, man, imagine a fantasy game from Rockstar, or imagine a medieval game from Rockstar. It would be ridiculous. I've alluded to it many times. My dream game would be like a Naughty Dog or Rockstar built pirate game set in the golden age of piracy or something. That's all I want. That's all I want in life. And it's not that insane to think that we could see it. It's not that crazy.